Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to this video on oxygen debt and deficit and EPOC, excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption. Now, here is my perhaps stretched analogy, but hopefully you find it useful. We're at one of those sushi restaurants where the sushi goes round on a conveyor belt, and we've got Mario here tucking in to sushi. Now, what's actually happening is, let's say Mario still, but he's not really eating sushi. He is walking, or he's sitting actually. He's sitting. He needs his body, his muscles, his cells do need oxygen. So his heart is pumping the blood to his lungs and then on around the body, and that's supplying that oxygen. Right now, we've said he's sitting down, he's at rest, so he doesn't need that much oxygen. He needs one sushi per minute right now. That's how much oxygen. The sushi is the oxygen just now. The sushi is going to be a couple of things in this analogy, but for now it's the oxygen. So around the oxygen goes. He needs one per minute. That's fine, no problem for the sushi chef here. He is providing that, no problem. Now Mario starts to walk. Let's say he starts to do something very unstrenuous. He's needing two sushis per minute. That's easier, not so easy to say, and no problem. Still, oxygen is able to keep up with that. Now, let's all agree that it is a thing that we can get on a treadmill and start running quite quickly. We don't have to slowly build up the speed. Our heart rate does, though, doesn't it? Our heart rate doesn't just immediately jump into action. So here's what's going to happen. Here, Mario's going to jump on the treadmill. All of a sudden, he needs 5 sushis every minute. The chef, the oxygen supply, panics. Can't manage that. What am I going to do? So he says, give me a bit of time to get organized here. I can't provide you that right away. But we've agreed that we can jump on a treadmill and run quite quickly. So what's going on? Well, Mario is taking some sushi. He's kept some sushi in his pocket, and he's eating that stuff while this chef is getting himself organized. What we're doing there is we're taking the ATP that's stored in our muscles, and we're using that up. While that's happening, while he's eating the sushi out of his pocket, the chef, the oxygen system, what we're doing, we're going to put 3 on each plate. We're increasing our stroke volume, the amount of blood that comes out of each pump. We're also, can you imagine what we also might do in either the analogy or the real life? We're going to increase our heart rate. So as well as putting the stroke volume up and putting more sushi on each plate, we're also going to have more plates per minute arriving at Mario there. So we're putting more plates on. We're increasing our stroke volume and our heart rate. Now we're managing to keep up with the pace. Happy days. Mario is there's enough oxygen there so he could keep exercising at that rate, and actually it's going to go a bit higher because he's going to start filling his pocket again. He's going to start putting sushi back in his pocket. He's going to put oxygen, glycogen into his muscles in case this happens again. So what was going on there? Well, here we've got time going along, and normally that's how much oxygen we need. Oxygen consumption quite low, no problem, we're ticking along. But remember, we jumped on a treadmill, and that line's vertical on purpose there. We started running immediately. The body panicked and started thinking, hang on a minute, how am I going to deal with this? It slowly got itself up there. It slowly increased its stroke volume and its heart rate, and up we went there. In the meantime, we used the stuff in our pocket. We went in we were in deficit there. Now he's gone on a little bit of an interval session here, old Mario, and look, he's all of a sudden the treadmill got faster again, and the body took a little bit of time to respond, and then after it responded, so he emptied his pocket there, and then after it responded in these bits here, it didn't just drop down when he dropped down. So when he stopped, when he went from running 17 kilometers an hour to 10 kilometers an hour, the heart rate didn't just go boom, switch back down to normal again. It slowly goes down because we're in oxygen debt at that point. We're filling our pockets. After he's finished, again, when he's back now sitting on his chair, he has excessive post-exercise oxygen consumption going on. His heart rate will remain high while he fills up his pocket, while he gets that oxygen and ATP back into his muscles, and also flushes out the lactic acid from his system. Now, Luigi, he is fitter than Mario. Look at him. He's an absolute champion there, and he is a well-trained athlete. If you're a well-trained athlete, you will get back to normal faster. That graph will be steeper. So that gives you an idea, hopefully, of what oxygen deficit and oxygen debt are. Oxygen deficit is that when we jump on the treadmill and the amount of oxygen we need is greater than the oxygen that our body is supplying at the heart rate that we're at. So the aerobic system can't just jump into gear immediately, it can't cope. So the anaerobic system comes along to help. That's the ATPPC system and the lactic acid system. They meet the shortfall. They can only do it for so long, but they meet the shortfall until the aerobic system has upped its game and met that deficit. Now, in the final sprint, this is just another point where you can get another point that you can make to get a point. In that final sprint, the deficit is going to increase. You can really empty the tank. So as you come around that last bend, if it's a 1500 meters, you can then really start to sprint and absolutely get rid of everything. Once you've done that, you will be in oxygen debt for some time. Your heart rate will remain high, your stroke volume will remain high, while you restore the phosphocreatine, while you get rid of the byproducts, that's like the lactic acid, and until the carbon dioxide and lactic acid levels in your blood return to normal, your body's going to know it's in oxygen debt and keep the heart rate high. I hope that's been useful for you. I think we might get a look at some exam questions that you might get. I'll just let you pause that and have a look, and hopefully that's making sense with what we've spoken about. Here's another one. Again, I'll let you pause that and take a look. And yes, we have a third one. I think that's it. Yep. Let's not do the neuromuscular junction just now. I hope that's been useful for you, and enjoy your study.